delivering fascinating subjects, interesting talk, and boobs and fart jokes. AD on iHeartRadio.
Yeah, oh, let's go. Talking that mess, better act like you know. Oh, let's go tonight. Walk away, punk, yeah, bitch. That's right, I know this. You're nothing but a punk, bitch. You're nothing but a punk, bitch. So walk away, yeah.
It's officially one of those days, and it's only the first day of the week. This is probably the most Monday-esque Monday of all time. Has your life just been one giant bag of suck? Ever since you got ejected out of bed this morning, do you feel like the only reason that you were woken up by your alarm clock was so that God could illustrate once again in a cruel twist of fate how much better everybody you went to high school's life is than yours? Yeah, that's how I feel today too. Good. Glad to hear we're all on the same effing page. You'll excuse me if I sound a little irate. It's just if I don't put my fist through a computer screen sometime before the end of today, I'll be very surprised. Very surprised.
Biatch.
Yeah, do that again. That made me feel slightly better. Yeah, there we go.
Biatch.
Anyways, hopefully you are having a significantly better Monday than I am. But it being a Monday, which is traditionally a big swinging hairy bag of things that distend from animals that suck terribly, awfully. It being a Monday, I'm guessing yours is about the same. So all I can say is that you and I will get through the never-ending bag of distended hairy animal suck together. Let's take a look at the events of today in our segment, My Witness News. In no way, shape, or form fair. Certainly not balanced. Funkhouser, are you having a better Monday than I am?
No!
Well, I mean, I don't know if... I don't know. Oh, here's the other thing. I don't really know what temperature it's supposed to be in this building, but it's about 5 degrees to the right of that. Like, I would like 72. It's probably pushing 80 here. It's not like... I mean, if you're not going to give us working computers, the very least you could do is make it not feel like doing radio in Cambodia when we come in here. But that's neither here nor there. You don't really get like the pain of the Monday because you worked all weekend long. Your Monday is significantly worse than mine for not having had a weekend.
I don't know what day it is or time it is. Because all this weekend we did like a 10-hour broadcast from Atlanta where it's just like... and
boots and pants and boots and pants.
I think they used the same soundtrack at Guantanamo Bay. Because I don't know what time it is, what day it is. It was freezing when I left last night. So now I have like the sniffles because I dressed like shorts and t-shirt. Not knowing.
Yeah. Fall's officially here. It's like the days are still sort of summery, it feels like, but like the temperature definitely drops at nighttime. You certainly notice it. So, bundle up, lest we all suffer from the sick. What is going on in the world at the moment?
Oh, yeah, I should have that up, shouldn't I? But I don't. Oh, here it is. Okay.
It's okay.
Lindsay Lohan reportedly followed up the disastrous performance in her London play by getting wasted at a bar.
Surprising, because I sort of assumed she would have rushed home to study her lines, then turned in early so she didn't miss church. What else?
She's in London? Like, how did she get a passport?
You know who they won't allow into England? You know which radio host is not allowed to... Like, you know that guy Michael Savage? The Savage Nation? Yeah. He's not allowed in England because they basically sort of like listened to his show and decided he was a fascist and wouldn't let him in.
Oh, well, I guess Lindsay Lohan can get in, but...
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think, part of the reason why people invite Lindsay Lohan over to London to perform is because they're sort of expecting expecting her, rather, to get drunk, do several rails of coke, make an absolute spectacle of herself and amuse the British public. It's like, here we see that every other day. It's just like, oh, look, there's Lindsay Lohan half naked sitting in a pile of her own vomit. Like, that's sort of like commonplace. Must be a Tuesday, but in England they don't get to see that stuff that much. So I think a large part of the appeal in hiring Lindsay Lohan to go to other countries to do that sort of thing is to just watch the circus. You're really not paying for Lindsay Lohan to perform. You're paying to watch Lindsay Lohan's life unravel again, and it sounds like she's giving the customer what they want.
Didn't she drive on the wrong side of the road over here? I guess that would be okay over there.
Oh, man. When I first came to America from England, I'd barely ever driven. I had barely ever driven because, well, you grew up in London, and it's like New York City. You mostly take subways, or the tube, as we call it over there. And we, for our first tour, before my band had a tour bus, we had a van, and we decided we'd all take turns driving the van. And I had a driver's license, but I'd barely ever driven. So I was with our tour manager, and we were driving around, and he was like, hey, man, you don't mind if I give you some tips on your driving, seeing as you haven't driven very much, and you're like, you're still a kid. And I was like, no, not at all. I've only driven 2 or 3 times in my life, so any advice you want to give me is great. And he was saying this as we were pulling out of a gas station, and he's like, yeah, you don't mind if I give you some advice? And we're going down the road. I was like, no, I don't mind. He's like, okay, first of all, you're on the wrong side of the road. And I was like, oh. And then I moved over. He's like, yeah, you just changed lanes. You're still on the wrong side of the road. So I feel Lindsay Lohan's pain. What else?
3 people died at a monster truck show in the Netherlands when a truck crashed into the crowd.
Well, at least it wasn't Gravedigger. The irony would have been a little bit too much to take. What else?
Chelsea Clinton gave birth to a baby girl on Friday.
And for obvious reasons, Bill Clinton did not pass out cigars. This means that Bill Clinton will, from here on in, be asking women, who's your granddaddy? What else?
Scientists say cows don't actually enjoy cowbells.
Oh, scientists say this, do they? Fascinating. I guess that means Ebola, AIDS, and cancer are all cured. That's wonderful news. Continue.
Oktoberfest is in full swing in Germany.
Yeah, Oktoberfest is Germany's most famous party. Close second, Nazi. German beer, by the way, has a higher alcohol content than other beers. And now the riddle of why David Hasselhoff lives there has been solved. Have you ever heard the old joke that Germans and people from other parts of the world make about American beer?
Mm-mm.
What's the similarity between American beer and having sex in a canoe? Both effing close to water. Couldn't believe you hadn't heard that.
Sounds like an Irish joke to me.
I'd only heard that once before, and I trotted it out with some friends not so long ago, and they were like, yeah, they're both effing close to water. We know, oldest joke of all time, AD. And I was like, really? I hadn't heard it. But that being said, it was, I told that joke to the host of a beer show, so he's probably, and he talks about that. He basically does a show on craft beers. And he basically, so he'd heard that one before, I guess. So yeah, you got to be aware of who your audience is, I suppose. What else?
Biologists say mankind is going through an evolutionary advancement.
And then they looked at the fact that Snooki from the Jersey Shore has reproduced again, and they're like, oh wait, no, never mind.
I accidentally watched a little bit of Keeping Up with those people, the Kardashians.
How'd that go for you?
I accidentally stumbled upon
Lost
it.
the remote?
I got caught. I was moving past it. I got caught, and it kept me for about a minute until I went, oh, what am I doing? What's going on here? What am I watching?
What were you watching? Like, what was it? What was it like? I've never actually. What was the premise of the show?
What is he doing? What is he doing here? Oh my gosh, what's he doing here? And there was a bunch. There was like 30 seconds of that, and then Kim runs up to a big old SUV, and her sister's in there, and going, "Oh my God, I was here spying on you, and I can't believe he's here. Who's here? I don't know." And then there was pandemonium because if somebody was there, and then I changed the station. So that's all.
You didn't stick around to find out who was there?
Nope. I think Lamar was there. I think Lamar.
Crackhead Lamar Odom? Was this a rerun? I thought he'd been written off the show ever since it was discovered that he had a drug problem.
I don't know what I saw.
You know what I watched? I binge-watched about 7 episodes of it yesterday. God, I love weekends. I binge-watched... have you seen that show, Blacklist?
No, not yet, but don't tell me about it because no spoilers. It's on my list.
Everybody loves it, but I think everybody loves it because it's just enough to keep you watching. Like, the way people have been framing it up, everyone was like, oh, it's like Breaking Bad. It's that addictive. And I was like, what's interesting, though, and I don't think I'm going to spoil anything by telling you this, it is good, and it does keep you watching, but you can clearly see where they've lifted pieces of plot from. Like, okay, it's like Silence of the Lambs meets, it's so, and it's gotten to the point where you can spot where they've lifted things from, whether it be from Silence of the Lambs. All I can think of now is Silence of the Lambs that they've stolen, or like Lost, Silence of the Lambs, shows like that, or shows and movies like that. They've been very liberal with a bunch of things, and it seems so obvious where they're lifting their stuff from that I wonder if they're gonna, if you go onto internet nerdy forums, you're probably gonna find all sorts of comparisons between this and the myriad of other shows that it sort of rips off, and I wonder if it's gonna be like paying homage. I wonder at what point homage becomes something you have to pay for. It's interesting. You know what else I watched over the weekend? I watched on Netflix that documentary on bronies. Do you know what a brony is?
Oh, man. I learned and then I forgot.
So, bronies are, My Little Ponies? Yeah. Okay, so there's like a third generation cartoon, new My Little Pony cartoon series, and it's called My Little Ponies Friendship is Magic. I think that's what it's called. And like the stories of these ponies have to do with, they all sort of like, it's the virtues of friendship that they extol. Right, but here's the thing: but it's cultivated a huge straight male following. It's really weird, and they call themselves bronies because they're bros who are into ponies. And there's these things called BronyCon, and they gather by the thousands at convention centers to. It's like Comic Con. It's like Comic Con, but here's the interesting thing: apparently the TV show My Little Ponies Friendship is Magic. This it's all about the virtues of friendship, and that gay. That was the exact attitude. Gay. That was the exact attitude I went into the documentary with. I was like, "This has got to," and I was actually kind of moved, like. By the fact that these people that were, let's be real here, it made me quote my favorite quote from pretty much any movie ever, which is Breakfast Club, and the quote is, so it is social, demented and sad, but social. Like, that is exactly how I would sum it up. But there's this underlying theme of the virtues of friendship there, and it's given a lot of people that don't have places to fit in otherwise, places to fit in. And it's kind of moving. And I fall into the category of person that after being a little bit judgy in the earlier part of my life, I've come to this conclusion that if you're happy and you're not hurting anyone, what business is it of mine or anyone else's? Answer, none. It's not.
Show and enjoy AD on the go. iHeartRadio presents AD.
If you're just getting here, welcome to the Monday edition of the show. Mondays being what they are, I will just say this: we'll get through this stinking bag of suck together. Joining the conversation by tweeting me at ADSXE. Talk to super producer to the stars, Barry Funkhouser at FunkFM. That's where you can find him on the Twitterverse. Although, because nothing is working today in the world of techie stuff, I can't get into my Twitter account. Like, it's a spinning wheel. There is nothing there for me to look at. It's disappointing. Oh God, I have a computer upstairs that just wasn't working, and I called tech. I dutifully filled out one of those. Do you have those, Funkhouser? The tech discrepancy tickets?
Oh yeah, you make a ticket and then you wait for a guy to show up.
Yeah, and so like